Hello, my name is Stefan Biller, CEO of Advanced Manufacturing International. Today we are bringing you a webinar from the shop floor of MxD, the nation's top digital manufacturing institute. We'll share our perspective on smart manufacturing and give you a preview of a demo we'll be doing at the SME shows in HughesTech, SouthTech, WestTech, and EastTech. And at those shows, we'll have our experts and engineering team on the floor, and we'll be ready to discuss all the digital transformation and Industry 4.0 implementation you want to do. AMI, or Advanced Manufacturing International, is a not-for-profit organization that is dedicated to the digital transformation and Industry 4.0 acceleration of small and medium manufacturers. We are a not-for-profit, and as such, we are not reliable to generate a profit for our shareholders or pay back our investors. Therefore, we can offer you solutions at an ultra low cost that are simple and easy to implement, and we are really in that for you, and we want you to be better without us making a profit. Let me give you a little perspective on the digital transformation, why it's so important. I worked previously for General Motors, for General Electric, and for IBM, three big companies that have all made big strides in smart manufacturing, Industry 4.0, or the digital transformation, whatever you want to call it. Those companies have the staff and the money to put in Industry 4.0. And as they are getting to more and more resilient and connected supply chain, they are expecting their suppliers, including the small medium manufacturers, to go along with them and get transparent and get digitally enabled. That's why this is so important. Now, let me tell you about the ingredients of the digital transformation. The goals are roughly the same. It's all about throughput. How many parts do I make per hour? How many cars are rolling off the line? It's about quality. Are these high quality parts? Do I have any scrap? It's about cost. How do I keep my costs down and make sure that I utilize my resources the best I can? And it's about on-time delivery. On-time delivery of products has become a premier competitive arena, basically with the arrival of Amazon, where everybody now wants everything in 2 days. A couple more goals that people typically have are sustainable manufacturing. How do we do this in an environmentally friendly fashion, and how we do it in a safe way. And finally, there is a new concept, or maybe not so new concept, that GE pioneered about 30 years ago, which is called product as a service, where the large companies are now going to a model where they not only make and design the product, but also service it. And that drives the notion of what people call the digital twin or digital thread, where I want to have a virtual model of my product at every instance. Because of those goals and of those changes, we'll now see the OEMs driving digital into their supply chain, and that will require for any of the SMMs to make sure that they are digitally up to snuff and can connect digitally to their OEM. So if we look at these goals, which are mostly the same during the last 100 years or so, Henry Ford certainly wanted to have throughput, quality, cost, and fulfillment at top notch, and he would have driven that. Maybe even James Watt, after he invented the steam engine, would have said, hey, I would really like this to be a little bit faster, a little bit better, a little bit cheaper. The technologies that are available to us are actually new, and you see them here on the right side. It is, first of all, the cloud. How do we store and connect all the data? This will enable us to do knowledge sharing across factories and in the supply chain. It is all about artificial intelligence. It's about 5G. How do we get data more easily into our databases? How do we analyze this better? It's about real-time systems analysis. How do we do the analysis we have been doing for planning purposes now in real time? And it's about the digital twin. How do we enable that digital twin that these big companies need now that they sell their products as a service? Now, to me, that sounds really daunting. And it was very daunting for these large companies. And they started very small, maybe 10 years ago or so. You might be inclined to just stick your head in the sand and say, you know what, I'm making money right now, good enough, I'll get to it when the time comes. But that will be too late. You really have to think about how can you possibly get ahead and on that train so that you can connect with your OEMs, drive down your cost, improve your quality, and improve your throughput. And of course, also deliver on time. That will enable you to get higher revenue and lower cost. So don't put your head in the sand. Start small, start now. We'll be demonstrating now something to you that will give you an initial idea of what that digital transformation is and what it means to you. And for that, I'm going to introduce Larry Megan. He is our Vice President of Technology and Product Management. Larry?
Thanks, Stefan. So let's talk about a specific solution that AMI is bringing to market to help with the Industry 4.0 transformation for small and medium manufacturers. So when we talk about Industry 4.0, when we talk about digital transformation, what we're really talking about is how can you use real-time data in a meaningful way to improve your business? So in many shops, they don't even have the data available to tell them really what is happening on the shop floor. And so we feel the LIMS solution is an easy way to really create that foundation for manufacturers so that they can get started. So what LIMS is actually an integrated software and hardware platform that in a manner that's very low cost, that's easy to implement, really makes it simple for manufacturers to start that first step in their journey. Getting data, collecting data off of their machines, starting to understand those issues of throughput, quality, and cost in real time. And once you start to have that data, now you can do lots of things and make a lot better decisions to improve your business. So just to give a quick demonstration of the LIMS platform, it's actually something that's been developed by a partner of ours, Lux Energy, over the past couple of decades. And as a result, it's not just a brand new solution, but actually an industry hardened solution that will really help with the collecting data off of machinery and providing the basic analytics and basic visualization that manufacturers need to really get started down this path. So just to give you a simple explanation of what it is, there's a piece of hardware, it's an IoT gateway, all based on open standards, all based with low-cost components, that allows you to connect a variety of assets and bring them into one place. So this can be network data coming off of machines. It can be sensor data coming from sensors that are scattered around the shop floor. But the beauty of bringing all of this together is you land it all in one place, you land it all in one database. And once you have that, now you can start to see in real time what is going on in your shop. Combined with the hardware, as I mentioned, is an integrated software platform. So unlike many things that are commercially available, you don't have to piece and part things together to make it work, but instead, all in one package, one simple and easy to use package. You can now say, okay, now I'm collecting that data, I have the data in one place, and now I can do some simple visualizations, some simple analytics to really help see what's going on in the shop. And so in the top of the slide, you just see a picture of a very simple interface, user interface that comes with the software that enables you to do this analysis. But you can do more than that with it if you want to. So if you want to, you can tie it into a Tableau dashboard or a Power BI dashboard. You pick the tool. We don't pick the tool for you. So you can pick the platform you want and the means that you want to be able to do the analysis that you want. It also comes with a simple analytical package that allows you to run some basic statistics around the system itself. And finally, maybe unique to many systems, is it also allows you to do provide outputs as well. So not only can you monitor what's going on in the shop and track the data, et cetera, but for example, if a variable exceeds an alarm, you can send an email to somebody, you can send a text to somebody, you can light a light stack on the floor. So you can do a lot of things with this low-cost device that really start people thinking digitally in your shop and figuring out what more they can do with the data now that they have it. And so this is, we feel that this is just a natural extension. Many organizations have work on lean manufacturing, how do we lean out our processes, et cetera. And what this does is this digitalizes those, right? So this brings that stuff to life It makes it real. It allows you then to make steps and take action in real time and not just have a new value stream map, but you don't know what happens, but actually then allows you to actually monitor and continuously improve the process in real time. And that's how you're really going to get the value out of things like lean manufacturing. So let's talk about an example at one of our customers. Highwood USA is an outdoor furniture manufacturer based in Northeast Pennsylvania. They make very high quality outdoor furniture, resin-based furniture. They have a fully integrated supply chain where they start with plastic pellets, they make the raw material, and then they cut that into the parts that you want. And you can go on Amazon, you can go on their website, there's lots of places where you can find what they're doing. It's a medium-sized company, not quite 200 people, been around for about 20 years. And really, it's mature enough where now, they've had a successful business over many years. They're starting to grow the business, and now they're trying to figure out, hey, how can we use Industry 4.0 in a way that's really going to help us improve the operation of our business? So in the past several months, they've had a ramp up in demand, and their CEO is asking questions like, hey, how can I get more throughput in my shop without having to add a new shift, pay excessive amounts for overtime, maybe spend a lot of capital on a new machine, right? But what things can I do to make sure first that I'm getting as much as I possibly can out of the assets that we have? So he recognizes that within their shop, a part of the process, which is there's a series of CNC machines. So they take the raw material, they run them through CNC machines to cut out the various pieces and parts. They then assemble them within the shop, and then they ship them off to the end customers. And so they recognize that the CNC cell has become a bottleneck in their productivity. And so they're asking questions around, hey, how can we measure throughput, or how can we measure overall equipment effectiveness, OEE, right? Give us some real-time data and help us understand variability in productivity as a function of product or shift or operator. And with that visibility, that then gives them the opportunity to really drive more improvements for their business. And so that's where we've been working with them. We have hooked up a single LIMS device that talks to the 4 machines that they have in the shop. It collects data right off of the PLCs on their CNCs, collects it, as I described previously, all into one place. And now with that, they can do a lot of different things with it. So they can use simple dashboards that are part of the LIMS platform, as we showed on the previous slide. Or there's a simple example here where they've developed a web page on their own, where they've been able now to collect that data, display that data, and display this information both on the shop floor next to the cell to help drive productivity right there, but also bring it back to the folks in the C-suite so that they can also understand how things are working and really where the opportunities are, and then share that data with their industrial engineer, who can then start to look at that and say, okay, now based on this and a little bit of data analysis and simple analytics, now we can see where the big improvement opportunities are. So just to reinforce a couple of things about the solution, right? One thing that's really important for us is we're really trying to teach the manufacturers how to fish. So we have provided them a platform based on open standards. It's tied in right now to their CNC cell, but there's a lot more that they can do with it, and we're enabling them to do that on their own. If they want to add more sensors, they can go ahead and do that. If they want to network additional machines into that platform, they can go ahead and do that. If they want to do different things from an interface or from an analytics perspective, this is a very open platform using standard tools, really whatever tools they choose. They're now enabled to be able to make those changes and basically, with the start that we've given them, organically grow the system on their own so that they can maximize the value from their shops. So what then we're going to do next is just give you a simple demonstration of the LIMS platform. The demonstration we'll show you today is very basic, using a tabletop 3D printer and the LIMS box itself, and just show you very simply how the data is networked in, how you can do some basic visualization around the machine, and just how easy it is to really use and grow the platform. So let me give you a taste of the demonstration that we'll show you at the SME shows. So what you see here is a series of equipment that will all be orchestrated by the LIMS device. We have a 3D printer, we have a cobot, we have a drill press, we also have a set of Bluetooth-enabled calipers. All of the information from these devices is going to ultimately flow into the LIMS device, which can then orchestrate an operation that's designed to show you how you could also do a more complex manufacturing operation within your shop. So in this case, what's going to happen? Well, we're going to give you the pair of calipers, and using a blank, you'll be able to define the size of part that you want to make. The calipers are Bluetooth enabled. We can capture the data from the calipers into the LIMS device. The LIMS, in turn, then can take that information, adapt the G-code in the drill press, send that information to the drill press, so that when a part gets into the press, then it can be machined to the size that you identified up front. The overall process is first starting, we make the blank in the 3D printer. The information, then that piece will then get picked up by the cobot and ultimately transmitted over to the press, where it'll make the part just as you defined it. So what's happening, right? We're bringing a lot of data from a lot of different pieces of equipment all into one place, using the LIMS device as the orchestrator for all of that. So, not only is it collecting data, so for example, with the 3D printer, and I show up on the screen here, remember we talked about this being an integrated hardware-software solution. So the data from the 3D printer, which is just connected via a USB cable into the LIMS device, is now actually being displayed on the screen to my left. So what that shows you is the XYZ position of the printer head as it's moving. So there you have an example of real-time data. And then the LIMS device, as I said, is taking the information from the calipers and actually providing an output, transmitting that over to the drill press. So not only is it receiving the operational data off of those pieces of equipment, but it's actually telling the press what to do to make the parts you defined. So again, come by our booth at the SME shows. We'll show you this demonstration. We can talk to you about the LIMS box in a lot more detail and really show you how flexible it is and how easy it can be implemented in your shop to do what you want to do to help bring more profitability to your manufacturing operations. So with that, thanks for your time, and we just invite you now to ask any questions that you would like, and we'll do our best to answer them. Thanks.